So much of our discovery and growth as players takes place outside of the box, simply by taking the time to chat with fellow players on all things pool. And that is why we created the Seeking Gravity Square Table Discussions. On this episode, we discuss why all players, regardless of skill level, should play leagues, along with everything we as players gain from that experience. Why should pool players play leagues? What do they get out of it? What would you recommend and why?
I think that players should play league because it gives them that experience of the competitive between playing higher skill levels or lower skill levels, but it puts them in that situation where now it's just like any other sport where there's a bracket, or like league play where you play higher skill, lower skill levels. It really gives you that experience so you can build up how you run. Some people get really nervous when they play league play, and the more that they play it, the more comfortable that they get. And so I think it really helps them build that up, that confidence within themselves to play other players.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Thanks, Jeff.
I thought I'd throw that out there.
I mean, I think that's the reason for pool players to play league.
Yeah.
But what if you're not a pool player? What's the reason to play league?
Well, at some point, the second you pick up a pool cue and start playing, you're a pool player. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for somebody that's never played league, why should they play league? For somebody that just goes into the bar and plays occasionally on a Friday with his buddies after work, why should they play league? I would think just the social environment of playing, and then finding out if pool is something that they want to play more than just casually at the bar occasionally, right?
Yeah, it is a really good networking resource to use for people, or it really does help. Like people said, when they play leagues and you play for years and years and years, that those people become your family. So it's really about building that social aspect as well in your life, having a hobby. Some people sew, some people play pool. It's just kind of, and there's sewing clubs too, book clubs, everything. So it's about coming together with people that have the same interest.
Yeah, find your niche.
95% of my friends are pool players at this point.
I believe that.
I'm trying to think of who's a friend that doesn't play pool.
Yeah, get out of my life. D-friend.
I got one friend, and it's because it's my work wife. It's her husband. That's why he's my friend.
Well, and then I had friends that didn't play, and I got them into it, right? It's like,
when you're that into it, it's
this.
almost contagious, right?
Yeah.
You're going to talk about it. They're around you, so by default, they have to have a cue in their hand eventually.
Right. Yeah.
For me, one of the things I like about league is its routine. It I don't want to say forces, but make sure that I am getting into the pool hall and I'm competing on a regular basis. Because if that's not there, I'm always trying to tell myself, well, yeah, I'm going to play. If I'm not playing league this season, I'll leave a lot more time for tournaments. And that's never really been the case. I don't usually pick up my tournament frequency if I'm not playing leagues. It's just not the case. So
that's what's happened to me now. Because I've been at a point where I'm like, I don't want to play league anymore. I'm playing 3 nights a week, all these different leagues, and I was going to quit. And I said, I just want to play tournaments. But then I thought, now I'm not playing at all. So it does, it forces you to practice. I hate to call league practice, but it kind of is for me.
Well, if you're playing leagues, you're playing regularly, and that'll also probably encourage you to also practice more regularly as well, right? Because, I got league tomorrow or even tonight or something like that. Whether that's last minute practice or not, it's more practice than you'd be getting because you know that you have to go perform.
But is it practice or is it you're just going out playing pool, getting ready for league? Because there's a difference. Because you can go out and practice all day long, but if you're not practicing and you're just playing, that's a whole different situation.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a bad situation for
Yeah,
me.
I mean, you want...
Here he comes with the coach movement.
Sorry.
I don't practice.
Well, you want to get better?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I have a 9-foot table at home.
Well, then you need
and
to practice.
I play league more than I
Then you
play
need to
on my
practice.
9-foot table. Yeah, it's definitely...
But back to what Malene said, is you get out there, you're building confidence as you're playing, right? And for people that are new, that want to get into something, if it's pool, then they just need to get out there and start playing with their friends to get started. And then they decide whether, where do I want to take this? For me, when I started playing, I played in the VNE league down in Lacey. And did I tell you about that plaque?
I think so.
So
Yeah.
I won this little plaque for in VNEA for most improved player for that year. And I'm like, I have got to do this all the time. That was my mentality. I spent the next 9 months figuring out how to open a pool hall so I could play pool all the time. Because that was it. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, is that what you want to do, or do you want to go out and hang out with your friends?
Yeah.
You know, so it depends on what you want to do with it, you know, and where that mindset is.
Yeah.
So
I think, so good.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I think it, since a lot of people will say, like, if you are a pool player, you'll say it's like a lifelong sport. There's people that come, they play when they're younger, they take a break for a while, because, you know, some people that sometimes they grow out of their hobbies or they move on to other things, and then they find their way back into it and they love it, if not more so than they did when they first played it. So I definitely think that it's not just a one-time thing, and like anybody, you can make any team, you can join any league, you know, it's really accessible to do the sport or the hobby that you want to do, like pool, with your friends and build all those types of skills.
Yeah, and it's nice because you'll see the whole spectrum of age ranges and abilities too, because it's not the most strenuous sport. In fact, there's even wheelchair divisions for pool.
Right.
So there's all kinds of opportunities for that. So you see everyone who's old enough to be in a bar, all the way till, you know, they're probably should be in a bed.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that'll be me. I'm sorry.
There's competition out there for guys that were competitive when they were younger that really couldn't perform in anything, even golf anymore, that you could still play pool.
Yeah.
And because the nature of the leagues being handicapped, you know, you can play pool competitively no matter how good or bad you are.
Yeah. Yeah, so going back to why league's a great idea is, you know, if you like pool, join a league, because then you'll just be hanging out with people who also like pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And I've grown a huge network of friends, including everyone sitting in this room, and it's been a really fun journey, and just where it's taken me. I would have never expected when I first signed up for my first APA league where I'd be now doing a show about pool. Like, it's kind
Right.
of crazy. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, and I like the aspect of, if I play pool and I know I want to get better, if I'm hanging around other pool players that are coaching me, that are giving their insights, that are teaching me, it just really helps myself grow in my performance as a pool player. So it's all beneficial.
on that note, there's a situation, a role for any level of pool player in leagues, and we talked about this in our other segment, but there's going to be roles for the people who are brand new, and they need to be taught everything, including how to hold a cue or how to even play the games,
Right.
and all the rules. And then there's going to be roles for people who have been doing it for years, if not decades, and they get to play the role of teacher and mentor and coach and help foster new players into the system, just like they most likely were taught when they were younger as well. So it's just kind of returning the favor in the cycle of life in a pool player.
Yeah, definitely.
Being able to socialize mostly with people that are like-minded to me, that enjoy the same game that I enjoy, right? Yeah. I love playing pool, and so I like to hang out with people that love playing pool. Yeah. I get to I get to put a mark on my progression in pool, right? I can tell from one session of league to the next what I'm doing better, what I'm doing worse. I can tell if I'm getting better. And I've always been a competitive person, so I like the competition.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, it's all about competition. Yeah, being able to play and put in my mindset that I want to be able to beat everybody. You know, leagues are great. I love playing leagues, but you know, time prohibits that. But competition, you know, putting yourself out there, because the good thing about pool and golf, you're playing by yourself,
Yeah.
right?
For the most part, right?
You know,
Yeah.
if you're out there competing, you're competing for yourself. You want to get better. You want to get better for yourself, right? You're not getting better for anybody else. It's for you, right?
Well, you brought up a good point. You know, it's okay to be nervous. It's, you know, to have anxiety. That's a normal thing for people to have, especially if they're not
everybody.
used to it, right?
Yeah,
You know, people want to kind of try and downplay. Oh, we're in a bar, we're having a beer, we're having fun. You're still competing.
Yeah.
You know, you still
They don't
you-
want to admit it though.
Yeah, you showed up because you wanted to win, right? Like, you know, people don't show up and go, I can't wait to lose today, right? Like, it's just not something that you look forward to doing. So
Right.
if you're there, you probably want to win. And a lot, you know, with that just comes nerves. And I mean, I kind of look at that, you know, it's life, right? Like feeling the blood pumping and getting excited and competing is just a really fun aspect.
Yeah. No, I love the competing part of it.
That's a really funny story. We had a young gal on our APA team, and the first season she was a part of, we made it all the way to very deep in the regionals, and she was so nervous. I mean, she could shake a can of paint better than the machine at the hardware store. I mean, it was from 20 feet away, you could see her hand like doing this like uncontrollably, and so it's one of those things that, you know, it's terrible to see, but at the same time it's fun because you can see that they're living life and, you know, experiencing all of it, and it's totally okay to be nervous when you go to league.
Right? I think that's in any competition though. If you got that blood flowing, you're gonna be nervous.
I think if you're not nervous, you don't care enough.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Why
was
are
just
you
gonna
here?
say that. Yeah.
Yeah, right? If you're not feeling it, then there's something wrong.
I just really like playing leagues because one, the competition, but also like I'm able to sharpen my mind so much. Like it's all about, half the time I'm playing myself when I play pool. It's such a mental game. I don't think a lot of people talk about that enough, that it does have its physical aspect of making the physical, but when you're a new player, especially like I used to be, I was really hard on myself. And like Jeff had said earlier, like if you're losing and losing and losing, you're kind of using that to fuel the fire of like, I want to stop losing. I want to win.
Right.
So kind of winning that mental battle, I really think is great because it really helps me to expand my mind. It helps me to like take that to other things where I'm like, I know I can mentally do this, so I know I'm strong enough to mentally overcome these other things, you know.
Yeah.
Jeff can beat me. I can beat him eventually.
Contrasting this to maybe people who haven't done leagues but have played tournaments for a while, how does this differ from tournaments, being that it's a team activity? How does that change things?
Well, people have a tendency to want to play harder, try to focus more, because they want to play for their team and they want to do better for their team. So if they're playing by themselves against somebody, they don't put as much effort into it or focus, you know. But when you're playing for a team, you don't want to let your team down. So I think that motivates a lot of people.
It's like more pressure.
Yeah.
Like in playing leagues, you don't want to let other people down versus
Yeah,
tournaments.
you're
where-
just letting yourself down. If you screw up, you know, you're on your own. But if you're playing on a team and you mess up, then now you're affecting 4 other people or 3 other people, right?
Yeah, that turnaround from the table is never fun. When you lose, you know, like in league or something, you turn around and see the whole team looking at you, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I had the occasional teammate where every time they come back and they miss it, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you gave it your best, and that's all that we wanted to see. The
Yeah.
fact that, you know, they're just in it is all you need
Yeah.
to see, right? Trying.
Right? So there was a time in Lincoln City that we're playing for the tournament. We're playing for first and second, and we're hill, and I've got this tough cut on the 8 ball, right? And it's a back cut into the corner pocket, and everybody's standing around watching because it's hill match and all that, wah. And I make the 8 ball, right? And everybody's like, yeah! But I drew it into the side pocket and scratched it, like it made the 8 ball, and like a second later the cue ball fell. And then you hear that big, yeah! And then, oh. So, you know, you just let, all of a sudden, you know, we're hill getting ready to win, and next thing you know, you just lost.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
But when
like,
you're shooting that shot in a team match, the adrenaline is just, if you're anything like me, like my adrenaline just pumping because
Oh,
I
yeah.
know I'm taking, our whole team is getting first place.
Yeah.
I'd be shooting that same shot in a singles match and it would have very little impact on me. I'd just, I'll just come up here and shoot this. And
If it was for
Yeah.
first,
I mean, it wouldn't,
you wouldn't care?
no, it's just a different level of care. Like, I'd probably be, for me, and this probably depends on the player, but I'd be more nervous shooting it for myself, whereas when I'm playing in a team format, I'm really way more optimistic or more, I don't know, just more confident. It's like, It seems more important to me to make it in a
Yeah.
team match than it does in a singles match.
Oh yeah, you never want to let your team down.
Because it's more of like a group effort. You know?
Yeah, because everybody played their heart out to get to that point, you know? Then it's like,
Yeah, once you form those connections, you're not only playing your matches, you're also kind of living pool through your teammates as well.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
the whole
But sometimes I have
rooting them on.
as much fun watching
Yeah.
my teammates play as I do playing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I learn from just watching other people play, and they don't have to be better than me to learn stuff. Like, I watch everybody on my team, and I could learn shots from. But
When I had my pool hall and I was telling people about pool, it was always, you're here to have fun. You're not here to be a professional pool player. You're here to have fun. So if you're starting out wanting to play pool, you're there to have fun. You're not there to be a world beater, right? You want to have fun. Then down the road, if it's something you want to do and get better at, then you push to get better.
Yeah, I think on that note, people should probably properly set their expectations. I think we've all come across those people who play leagues, and that's the only table time they ever get is when they're racking a ball for their 3 racks of ball
Yeah.
that week.
Yeah.
And people get all upset and stuff like that. So I think just know if you're just a league player, you come to do it socially, that's what it is for you. Enjoy it, like you said. Just have fun.
have fun.
If you have this expectation set where you're gonna walk up to the table and then you hadn't picked up a stick that week and you're gonna break and run 3 racks in a row, you're sorely mistaken. Right? Like enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where it's like there are so many league options. So there's guaranteed, I'm not guaranteed, but most likely to be one that will fit what you're looking for as a pool player.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if that's a good time to plug, if you haven't seen our other video on all the different leagues that are available to you and how they're all different and the pros and cons, definitely check that out.